Hi YouTube, my name's Sean Connors and welcome back to a DM's Tips programme. This is the first DM's Tips programme I put out for a little while. This is DM's Tips 40 I believe, although I'd have to double check that, but I think I'm right. And today's programme is really going to be all about probing and how to use a very open style of technique to find out key pieces of information to help you drive your game forward. Now it sounds very complex, but it's actually fairly simple. But I need to illustrate it to you in a pretty unique way. So first off, let's try and put ourselves in a scenario that you probably do go through quite regularly. I've talked before about trying to get regular feedback from your players. And it's one of the hardest things to do. Because if you imagine, if I ask a player right now, I said to somebody, hey Rob, what did you think of the session? Even if we just had that session, the chances are I'm going to get an answer something along the lines of, yeah, it was great. Not really that useful, really, to be honest. And immediately, that's probably all I'm going to get from Rob. And unless I'm able to stop him and talk to him in more depth, which is unlikely to happen as the session is just finished, the truth is that's all I'm going to know. It doesn't really help me develop my game any further. It doesn't help me understand Rob as a player. So how do I go about getting more information out of Rob? Well, before we talk about that, let's examine where we're going with this in, again, a unique way, because the more you understand it, the more it all makes sense. So let's put yourself in the shoes, and some of you won't be applicable to, but you imagine you're asking a child, and I'm talking about a young adult, teenager, that sort of thing. You say to them when they've come in, hey, how was your day at school? Again, what answer do you think you're going to get? You're going to get a very simple, very short answer, which is going to be something along the lines of, yeah, it was okay, or that was rubbish, or words to that effect, and you're not going to get any more, and they're going to be off. Now, if you ask the same question to a little child, someone who's sort of 5 or 6, they'll talk for ages. They'll go on, wonderful day, I went in the playground, I played with dinner, we did this, I did that, he did the other. And they haven't even got in the classroom yet. No, they'll elaborate for 10-15 minutes. Because kids haven't learned, young children haven't learned what all adults do, which is you shorten everything down to the minimum. And this is what your players are going to give you. They're going to give you the minimum in terms of their responses. So what you've got to do is realise that. Now there's a very simple tip to actually get around this, and this is what it is. So when you get some time, don't do it after, you'll get feedback after the session, but don't worry too much about that feedback. The most important thing is spend some time between sessions phoning players up. Put the effort in, contact them. And it's better if you phone them because you can talk to them direct rather than email. You never get the same answer, but by talking to them direct or seeing them or whatever you do, you can actually probe really deeply. So you can actually say, listen, Rob, how was the session? And really break it down. So, at the beginning of that campaign, when we started off and we went into that first combat, you were quite important in it. What was your thoughts? What was going through your mind? So you're probing straight away. He's going to elaborate and then you're able to dig a bit deeper. So would you have done anything different, Rob? What would you have done? And you're just building that out. Just building it out. If you want to think about it in a pretty unique way, then think about it like this. If I was asking Rob, how did you get to work? Rob would normally just tell me, Sean, I just drove in, mate. I could really go to town here. I could say to Rob, right, Rob, let's go back a minute here, mate. When you get up in the morning, do you get up with an alarm clock? What time do you set it for? What colour is your alarm clock? What side of the bed do you get out of? You could really go deep. Now, what I'm saying here is don't overdo it, but you can probe Rob, in this case, for a lot of information to help him understand your thought processes and you understand his. And also equally, he's going to realise that you really understand him as a player. And that is what really probing these open style questions can really do for you. But it's not until you realise how we all as adults shorten information down that you suddenly realise that you have to take it back a step to actually get more out of Rob. Anyway, this has been DM's Tips 40. This has been probing, open questions, that sort of thing. Hopefully it's been of some benefit to you. Take care of yourselves. Happy gaming. Until the next time. See you again. Bye-bye.